so many people want to skip that part. They want to skip that hard part. They want to skip the part where you got to grind it out. And what they can't understand because they don't have the perspective of being down the road further is that hard time that you're trying to avoid, that is where you learn 98% of the stuff that's going to make you successful long term. Okay, so all of the difficult things that you go through, those produce the most skills. When times are easy and things are going well, you're not really learning that much. You're just executing on the things that you have learned. So just like we talked about earlier, where wins and losses are necessary and just part of it, the grind part where you don't know and have to figure it out is part of it. And if you go around that part, or you try to skip that part, or you buy one of these courses online and you become a millionaire in 2 weeks, you're going to not be a millionaire in 2 more weeks because you don't have any of the skills to grow it and maintain it. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society. And welcome to reality. Guys, today we have Q&AF. That's where you submit the questions and we give you the answers. Now, you can submit your questions a few different ways. The first way is,
guys, you can email these questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you can go on YouTube on the Q&AF episodes, and you'll be able to tell the Q&AF episodes because they're the ones that don't get censored. And just drop your question there in the comments, and we'll pick some questions to answer out of there as well. Now, I'm going to give you a rundown on the show, all right? We have shows within the shows, not just a Q&A show. We like to start the week off with Q&A because we want to get better. We want to go out and kick some ass this week. Tomorrow, we're going to have CTI. That stands for Cruise the Internet. This is where we put topics up on the screen, current events. We speculate on what's true, on what's not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, have to solve these problems going on in society. Other times, we might have real talk. That is where I give you 5 to 20 minutes of some real talk. And then we have 75 Hard Versus. That's where someone who has completed the 75 Hard program comes on the show, talks about how their life was before, how they are now, and how they use the 75 Hard program to realign their mentality and life. If you're unfamiliar with the 75 Hard program, it is the world's most famous mental transformation program in the history of Earth. You can get it for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. 75 Hard is the first phase of the Live Hard program. And at episode 208 on the audio feed, it'll explain the whole thing. Now, if you're like me and you're one of these people that has to know the ins and outs and all the details, you can buy the book. There's a book on my website, andyfrisella.com, called The Book on Mental Toughness. It is a book that details the entire Live Hard program, top to bottom. Also 10 chapters on mental toughness, plus case studies from very famous people on how they use mental toughness to become the people that you recognize today. Now, we do things a little bit different on the show. You're not going to hear 40 minutes of advertisements on the show. We ask very simply that you help us grow the show, help us share the show. We talk about things that the internet doesn't necessarily like us talking about here. We get censored, shadow banned, traffic throttle all the time. That means we need your help getting the word out. So I don't run the ads. I don't want to listen to these guys tell me what I can and can't say. And in exchange, you help us grow the show. So if the show makes you think, if it makes you laugh, it gives you a new perspective, it's information you think needs to be heard, please share the show. All right? Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
What's up, dude?
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
Brother from another mother.
Kind of matching today.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you called me.
Yeah.
And
I did.
Yep.
I said I didn't want you to feel left out.
Right.
That's a cool shirt.
It's Patriot gear.
Yeah.
Ian went.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of these shirts, man.
Yeah.
I just like them.
Yeah. Oh, they're cool. It's a cool brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some cool designs, man.
And Ian's a good dude, bro.
Solid guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Solid guy. You know, I've never been friends with a ginger before.
You know, usually I just.
I mean, like,
yeah.
They're an interesting breed. You know.
Yeah, they're weird.
But Ian's cool. I like him.
Ian's cool. He changes the.
No,
no,
he doesn't change it. It's just him. He's cool.
Yeah, it's like an anomaly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
So, what's happening, dude?
What's going on, man?
I heard you were teaching Chris over here to ride motorcycles.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did a little lesson yesterday.
How'd that go?
You know, he dropped it twice. It's
No,
fine.
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. It's fine.
No, he didn't.
No, he did. It's fine.
He dropped your fucking road glide twice.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It
No,
happens.
you're
Shit,
lying.
listen. No, he did. Ask him. He did. Yeah, it's fine.
How?
Well, I mean, dude, like it is a bigger bike. You know what I'm saying? So I came into it knowing
Bro,
that
I told you to get him started on one of them little CT70s in the back, bro.
little Hondas.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, it wasn't like a fucking crash.
Would you drop it down the crash bars?
Yeah, so it was fine. And I showed him like, all right, this is how you pick it up. You know what I'm saying? So like, those are all necessary things, man. I feel like I'm a pretty good teacher when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like shit's
Did
gonna
he end up
happen.
getting it?
Yeah, he did. He did pretty decent. I mean, like I told him,
He's going to need a few more.
for sure.
Got it.
And like, you don't want to overkill those sessions. Like,
Has he ever been on a bike before?
I don't think so.
Ever?
No, I don't think
That's
so.
a big bike to learn how to ride
It's
on.
a big bike. But like I told him, like, bro, you learn on this, you fucking ride anything.
Yeah.
You know, so he did pretty decent. You know, he did pretty decent. Got to work on some stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But,
like not dropping the bike.
like not dropping the bike. But, you know, it's fine. It was cool to see.
Yeah.
It's cool to see. You're going to start a little 1 p.m. MC here.
Yeah. What kind of gang activities are we going to do?
Oh, you know, trafficking protein bars. Yeah, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We'll probably do another session next week. I think I'm going to put him on the Road King now.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's just that bike is actually like more powerful than the Road Glide.
Yeah, I know, but
That's
it's
the
also
problem.
like not in as good a shape. Your Road Glide's beautiful.
Yeah. But now it's like if he drives
The Road King's kind of like Mad Max. Like it's got some warrior to it. You know, if you fucking dent that thing, it's going to make it look cooler.
Might make it look better.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. Well, we'll keep you guys updated. Went from pool lessons to bike lessons.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, let's make some people better.
All right.
Guys, Andy, I got 3 good ones for you, man.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start it out nice and easy. Andy, I set a long-term goal when I was younger to become a firefighter. I have since obtained that goal, and as the years roll on, I'm starting to question what's next. There are certifications that I can obtain, but I'm still ambitious for more than just what I can do with my current job. I love my job, but I want to continue learning and pursuing something outside of my job that I am passionate about. What are some of your thoughts you have when it comes to just setting new goals? And what is something that you do to find other things that you are passionate about in life? Like, I mean, how do you expand your circle of life, I guess, when you accomplish something you set out for yourself?
You know, I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that question because I've sort of accepted my path such a long time ago that I don't really look for alternatives. I don't look for, like, for me to expand what I'm doing, it would just be, I want to create this new business. I'm an entrepreneur, right?
So it's always going to be centered around that.
Yeah, because that's my skill set and I enjoy it. Like I enjoy the building process of businesses and companies, which is why I do it. So I don't really look for, you know, I guess direction changes because I'm looking for a new passion, if that makes sense. But I understand that a lot of people do, and I'll try to answer it the best that I can. You know, I think the big thing is you have to ask yourself, what are you truly interested in? And can that thing be monetized? You know, a lot of people have these passions, but they're very hard to monetize. What are you into? What do you like? What would you like to do? What would you do if there were no limitations? Because there are none. All right. You have to be willing to start at square one. You have to be willing to start, you know, with no skills. You have to be willing to look stupid in front of your friends and family and now social media to start something new. But if you're willing to do that, there are no limitations. If you're willing to decide I want to do this and you're willing to go down the path and not quit, and you have the basic intelligence to not make the same mistake over and over and over again, there's really no limits to what you can do. So it's really about asking yourself, what situation am I in? Am I trying to come up with a new passion because I want to make more money or I want to be happier? It sounds like you enjoy being a firefighter, which means you probably enjoy serving people or helping people. So what about that could you turn into a different vertical off of what your skill set is, right? And that's how we need to think about these things, because unfortunately we don't have unlimited time to learn new skills 7-8 times over the course of our life. So when we think about how we're going to make our living, you know, we have to think about what skills do we possess? What are we good at? What experiences do we have? And what do we enjoy doing? And is that thing open to monetization, right? Like just because you like it doesn't mean you can make money doing it. Now, I would say most things you can, because the internet allows us to reach little niches that are tiny and do very well. But, I think those are some reasonable questions to ask yourself. I don't really, I think you got to be real careful with this, because this is what we talk about when a lot of people start to get into a career. They dedicate some time, they dedicate some effort, they put 3, 4, 5 years into it, and then they say, man, I don't like this. This is boring, and I want to start a new thing that I'm passionate about. And what they're actually doing is really no different than what people do in romantic relationships, right? Like in the first 6 months, it's like, I'm in love, and everything's perfect. But what you don't realize is that for the first 6 months, both of y'all are fucking lying anyway, because you're trying to get the other one to like you. So of course it's great. And then you really find out after the 6 months what's the thing is all about, right? And that's kind of the same with our careers. We have this idea of what we want our careers to be like. We put in the time, we put in the effort, and then that newness sort of wears off for us. And then some people say, okay, they understand this. They say, okay, well, this is not new to me anymore. And then they dig in harder on their skill set, and that's where the success actually starts to happen. Or some people will have that same, revelation about their own lives, and they will get to a point every 3 or 4 or 5 years where they'll find a new thing because it got boring, right? And that's where it gets dangerous. You don't want to be the person that has to learn a new skill set every 3 or 4 years because you're bored, because now you're in a situation where you're going to run out of time before you ever become an expert and it starts to bear fruit. So we got to be real careful. I'm not against people changing or evolving or moving forward, but I don't want people to waste their life by going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing and then wondering why nothing ever happened. Because all of the success, all of the, fulfillment, all of the real progress, all of the money, that all comes after it's already been boring for a pretty long time, right? Yeah. Like in my case, I didn't make over 6 figures until my 11th year. Don't you think after like 3 or 4 years of making no money, it sucked? But I kept going, and I kept mastering the monotonous things, the monotonous tasks that were required for me to become an expert at what I do. And, that's where people mess up, dude.
Dude, it's so crazy, because I was actually just thinking about this the other day too, man. It's like, and I've caught myself in the same thing, but I feel like a lot of people, they sometimes lose sight on the fact that you're where, like, that's where you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like 3, 4, 5 years ago, you wanted to be exactly where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like you asked for this.
Yeah.
I think that's a different, like I said, I've caught myself in the same thing.
Well, I think we're all like that. I think all of us, especially if you have any sort of ambition or drive. Now, there is people that just wake up and they're like, I want to do the minimum. I don't give a shit.
Sure.
Right. Sure. We're not talking about those people. But I think what you're saying is probably rings true to a lot of people, because we all start to take for granted our day-to-day life, right? Like if I could look back 20 years ago when I was 5 years into business and look where I'm at now, dude, I'd be like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing ever. I did it, and like, but I don't wake up every day feeling that way. I wake up every day feeling like, all right, what else can I do? Yeah. How can I evolve? How can I grow? And so this evolvement that this man is talking about, I do that every day by trying to just push further and further and further, Most people would sell all that shit and just go fuck off, right? The thing is I don't want to be that guy that just made money. Like, that's not what I do. I have all these people here that I love. I love coming here. I love creating. I love building. I love watching them progress. I love seeing our customers do that. And yes, some days it does get a little boring because I've been doing it for so long. But at the end of the day, I'm super fulfilled by that, even though it's not as exciting as it used to be. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think I think what you're talking about here, dude, is just like it's a misconception of, or maybe just an absent-mindedness around gratitude, right? Like we forget how far we've come because we are ambitious and we want to go. And I don't talk about that very much because I don't think about that very much. I never, like, people are always saying to me, man, do you ever stop and think? Like, and I really don't, and the reason I don't is because I'm so focused on moving and getting better and improving that I don't ever stop to think. But when I do stop to think, I am like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Pretty bad.
And then, then I look around, I'm like, dude, what are you what do you have to worry about, man? Like you're working with all these great people. You create things, you build things, you help people with those things. You're involved in all these different projects and all these companies and doing books. And I get to go speak in front of thousands. Like, bro, this is fucking amazing. Right. You know what I mean? And I don't think about it like that every day because that's just my life. You know what I'm saying? Just like your life is your life and the people listening is their lives. So I think, it's important for us to take, a minute or two every day at least and say, man, like 5 years ago, dude, I would have killed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a very powerful thought. And I'm guilty of the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah, man, it's a real thing. The other thing I want to ask you too, man, you just talk about like just expanding, this idea, like, I think about the fire industry, man. It's not just like, it's way more than just, taking your naps. Obviously they take naps, but like, putting out fires. Like there is still a vertical inside of that industry that could be, attained, whether it's creating a new fire hose or a new, not like, what I'm saying? There's always like, and you've honestly made me realize that too. It's like, it doesn't really matter where you kind of point the finger at in any industry, any career path, any business. There's a ladder there in each one of those categories that can be climbed.
Yeah, bro.
And I think it's just expanding that kind of that vision on that. You got to just
think about it like this. Let's just say you're an auto detailer, right? And you detail cars for a living because you love cars. But after detailing 400,000 cars over 10 years, you're like, fuck, another car, right? And you start thinking, well, how can I change? How can I do? Well, couldn't you come up with your own car wash solution? Couldn't you come up with your own towels? Couldn't you come up with an entire line of the cleaning supplies or a special sponge? Where is that vertical? Where is that thing that you still love but could increase the business, right? And I think people need to think about that. There's a lot of people that are really stuck and they look around at all these things they know nothing about and they miss the obvious things that are right in front of their face that they have a very deep knowledge set about. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just about wrangling in that feeling of I need to do something different. Sometimes, bro, you just need to go like drink a beer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you need to go to the river and fucking throw a line, whatever it is you do. It's that's a feeling we all have. Man, I'm not really satisfied here. That's a good feeling, by the way. That's not a bad feeling because most people never feel that. Most people are like, grind it out. I put in my 12 hours today. Now I'm going to go take tomorrow off and I'm going to lay in bed until 4 p.m. and then I'm going to drink. Like, it's just this shitty life, dude.
Yeah, that's not the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, you should feel good that you have these feelings and just kind of try to figure out how to harness them the right way. So, you love what you do, but you're also making a little bit of money and you can utilize some of the skill set that you already have.
I love it. Guys, Andy, question number 2. Hey, Andy, I want to start by saying I appreciate all you do for us. Been listening for a year now, and you've given me the best advice from anyone literally ever. My dream is to own the biggest cattle ranch here in the great state of Missouri, as well as build a career in the banking industry. At 22 years old, I've just bought 60 acres to run my livestock. And on the same day I closed on my land, I got the promotion of becoming my bank's official agricultural loan officer. I wanted to give the recognition to God, my wonderful family who've helped me, and and you for all that you do for all of us. I wanted to share this, hopefully to inspire others if possible, and prove that there is still a real Americans out here working and grinding. The American dream's not dead. My question to you is, how do you continue to build on wins and how to deal with losses when they eventually come after you have had huge wins? Again, appreciate all that you do. Hope this question helps myself, you, and DJ, and everyone listening, because it's not about you and me. It's about us.
Well, I mean, look, bro, yeah. I mean, you're the loan officer of ag at your bank, bro. Just loan yourself the money and buy all the farmland. You can be the biggest rancher in a week, Yeah, don't do that.
That's somebody's playbook.
Yeah. So, look, man, the reason people struggle with wins and losses is because they think of wins as good and losses as bad. It's a framework that people just have wired in their brain, right? Win, good. Loss, bad. And that's not actually true. They're both good, okay? Because when you lose, if you have any intelligence whatsoever, you're learning a lesson and gaining a skill that you will have forever, meaning you will not repeat that mistake again, most likely. So that is the win in the loss. And you have to understand that for you to become successful, you're going to have 95% losses and only 5% wins. It's probably more than that. It's probably 98% losses and 2% wins. And then as you get older and you get more experience and you have more time in it, the percentage of wins goes up and the percentage of losses go down to where, 20, 25 years into something, you're probably winning 95% of the time and you're losing 5% of the time just because you have an educated understanding and you have the experience of the time that was, put into this. So I think for people to really get comfortable with the nature of progressing and getting better and improving and growing and becoming something big, you have to look at wins and losses both as valuable and not just try to avoid the losses because it's embarrassing or you feel stupid or because you've always thought of them as bad. Without the losses, you can't have the wins because the losses teach you all the skills. Every valuable thing that you're going to learn in entrepreneurship comes from the losses that you have. And so if you try to avoid them, you're just slowing down your ability to learn. All right. So when we think of these two things, we should start to value them for what they are and as opposed to looking at them as a bad thing. And if you start to value them for what they are, that they're both good and they're both valuable, I actually believe that losses are much more valuable than the wins. The wins are just confirmation. The losses fix your mindset around something that you were confused about. That's a completely different thing and it's more valuable. Yeah. And if we could just frame this to understand that like you need the yin with the yang to actually get where you're going, then you don't have to like get over losses, right? Like there's been times where I've lost legit 8 figures in one day. All right. You want to talk about dealing with a loss? Yeah. Lose fucking 8 figures in one day, bro. Okay. Lose 8 figures in one day and then be able to turn to your business partner and be like, fuck, won't do that again. Right. Yeah. And then you go home and you chill and it's no big deal because you understand like, fuck, all right, that was expensive, but when I'm doing 3 or 4 or 10 times more money than what I'm doing now, that lesson only cost me 1/10. Eventually that could be a 9 or 10 figure lesson that I learned. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm thankful that I learned the lesson at 8 figures or 7 figures because it saves me when I'm at 9 or 10. You see?
Makes sense.
So we have to fucking look at these things, guys, as equally as valuable and stop looking at them as one or the other when you actually have to have both. And if you understand the value of the losses, then you don't have to worry about getting over them, dude. You just look yourself in the mirror and you say, dude, I learned a lesson. I gained this skill. I'm not going to do that again. And I'm going to keep going. And then what does it matter? Right. It doesn't matter at all. Right? So now you're going down the path with a new tool, some new equipment, and you're ready for that obstacle the next time it appears. So when we think about wins and losses, try to reframe and understand that losses are necessary, and without them, you won't gain the skills, and without the skills, you can't have the wins long term. So if you think about it like that, then what is there to get over?
Yeah, I love it. So to stop trying to avoid these, but more importantly, expect them.
Yeah.
Embrace them.
Yeah.
How do you battle that though with the mentality of still hating to fucking lose? How do you battle that?
Well, I mean, look, that's a great question, but what I'm talking about, like there's micro losses and then there's macro losses. And even that loss that I said was 8 figures, that's still a micro loss because it didn't put me out of business.
Okay.
It didn't change my position in the world, you know what I mean? Or what we've done or the things that we've invested in. So as long as it's not a fatal mistake and you keep going, it's not a loss. It's just something I learned along the way. You know what I mean? Losing is this company beat me and put me out of business, or, I got this thing and it happened to me and I quit. Really, dude, at the end of the day, you can only lose on a macro level when you stop. And so when I think about hating to lose, dude, I don't think about like the process, because in the process of competition, just like a race, someone gets a good start, they're out ahead of you, right? But you could catch up. And in business, when you're competing with your competitors, there's times where your competitor is going to get like a burst, just like there's times when you're going to get a burst. And if you're in the game long enough and you're smart and you have the experience, that those bursts are going to come. So even when someone like gets out ahead of you or, is doing better than you, that's actually a good thing because you can look at them and you can say, all right, what do they do differently? How did they do that? And you break down their move and then you say, okay, then where's this going? Oh, it's going to go here, right? All right, so let's do this and we'll move ahead of them because they just did this. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's very similar to what I do on the show, where I'm deducing through my observations where this is going to go. And that's how you need to learn. You need to learn how to think 3 or 4 moves ahead, take whatever is working from the other guys, think 3 moves ahead, and then that's your target. And you don't get pissed off just because they're winning right now.
Yeah, those are the battles, not the war.
Bro, there's been a lot of companies that we've competed with in the different areas of business that I'm in that, they get a little burst and then their owners and they all think they're the shit. And it's like, yeah, right. Just wait, dude. I've been doing this a long time. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to fucking stop me. And then you end up passing them because they're all celebrating. Like I remember one time, dude, there was this company that we were competing with. They're pretty famous, but they're out of business now. The owner, I remember this very clear, dude. The owner of the company posted a picture on his Instagram with him and like 3 of the guys from that company. And it said something like, who would have known the view from the top was so good, or something like that. And I knew right away, like right when I read the photo and the caption, I was like, this guy's done. He's fucking done. He thinks he fucking made it. I'm right behind you, bro, and I don't feel like I've even started. So you're done. And guess what? Now they're gone. We're still here. Okay, so you could identify these companies that are going to fall apart by the way their ownership and the way their leaders behave when they win. Winning is expected. All right, you're supposed to win. That's the expectation. It's not really something that you should over celebrate. Like,
be surprised.
I'm not fucking surprised when I win. That's what I expected. I'm surprised when I fucking lose. And that's an expectation that champions have, bro. They don't have this, I hope I win, oh, I won, woo. Like, no, dude. I fucking won. That's what I set out to do. I'm not shocked about it. I'm not surprised about it. I did all the work. That was the result we planned for, and that's, people ask a lot, they're like, how come you don't get really excited? Because I expect it.
Yeah. Some deep shit, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Guys, Andy, question number 3. Andy, how can I humble my go-to employee? Ooh, this is deep. I've been in a leadership position at my job for 6 years now. I would say I lean more towards humility rather than ego. I have an employee that has reported to me for the last 4 years now. He has advanced in his position significantly, and I'm genuinely happy for him. However, over the past 6 months, this employee is slowly turning into an uncoachable know-it-all. I've had conversations with him and limited his exposure to new employees and training because I feel like he is a parasite to my team. I've even went as far as stating he needs to consider moving on to a new position. Andy, how do I humble my go-to employee?
You need to challenge them. All right. When you have someone on your team who has mastered a certain skill set and they believe and they are good and they believe they're good, the way that you get them to remember that they're human is by tasking them with a new task or a new skill set that they need to learn, and make sure they don't know anything about it and tell them to go fucking figure it out. And that will humble them almost instantly.
Damn.
So when I have someone who I think is, let's just say arrogant or cocky about how good they are, that's typically what I look to do. I look to redirect them into an area where they don't know as much and set them free there. And usually that brings their ego into check. And obviously I have a conversation about it too. One of our core values here is be humble. Another one is always be learning. And you cannot always be learning if you think you know everything. So, because those are our core values, I'll sit down with someone and say, hey, look, I know you're good. I know you're good, dude, but you're not going to get any better with the attitude that you have, and here's why. And I'll have a conversation with them. And typically, that usually goes pretty well. But at the end of the day, when you take someone who thinks that they know everything about what they do and you challenge them with something that they don't know very much about, it reminds you as a human that you aren't great at everything, which is really what it takes for you to kind of reel it back in, right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good tactic for getting people to chill out on themselves.
Bro, I've never heard that's it's actually crazy. I've never heard that, and I think it's awesome. You know, it's weird, like this concept of leadership, man. And like you said, you've said before, like you could probably do a course for 3 weeks straight and still not cover everything in leadership, right? But one of the things I think is really, really interesting is your stance on this is like a lot of leadership issues. It's not the people who are you're leading has the issue. It's always internal on the leader side.
It's always you.
You know, I think that's so interesting. Like how you're not giving him enough.
That's correct.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not a problem with them. It's a problem with you. Look, bro, every leadership problem is a problem with you. You either didn't coach them right, you didn't give them enough attention. You know, you didn't challenge them. You didn't allow them to develop. These things are usually on the leadership. Now, there are people that will come along that cannot be coached, that you have to move on from, and that's just part of having employees. Another thing that you can do to help with their humility is you can assign them the task of training other people to do what they do at the level they do it. Because the truth of the matter is you're not a very good leader unless you can create new leaders. So giving them the task of bringing someone who maybe isn't as skilled up to par is a very challenging thing to do, and it typically humbles people. And what ends up happening is those people will come into you and they'll say, this guy just doesn't have the skills. No, you're not coaching him right. And that's the opportunity for us to like say, no, this is what leadership's about. It's about service. Your job is to get him to a level 10. You got him to a level 7, and now you're saying he's not good enough. What does he have to do to go from 7 to 10? Mm-hmm. You need to help him do that. And you push back on him and let him go out and do it. And this is how you create a real leader who replicates other leaders on a consistent basis.
Which is crazy because that's the complete opposite of what this guy was doing. He said he was pulling them away from new employees.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong to do that in the current scenario because he doesn't know how to handle the situation. So what he's doing is
he's afraid of culture.
He's trying to create a distance between Cancer and the rest of the team, because he doesn't know how to mold this person into an effective asset, which that person might end up being your best teacher, bro. Give them some responsibility, challenge them, allow them to actually teach and learn some new things and, you know, become a bigger part of the team through becoming a leader and replicating themselves. Bro, the highest paid people in the world are people who can take other people and replicate them at a high skill set, especially in sales or leadership. If you're in sales or you're in leadership and you can replicate great salespeople or you can replicate great leaders and managers, bro, you're indispensable. You can write your own check. It's the most valuable thing you can have. Outside the skill sets of sales, leadership / management, they're two different things, but they go in the same category. And then the ability to take initiative from the start of an idea to the end of the idea without anybody having to tell you to do things. That's the 3 most valuable skills you could have as an employee. But the most valuable skill on top of that is being able to get other people to do what you were doing at that high of a level. Once you can do that, bro, you're writing your own fucking check. I don't care where you are. People do not understand how valuable that is because it's super rare. Super rare. There are very few people that can take someone else and make them like them. And if you could do that, dude, you know, most people won't do it because they're afraid that person's going to take their job. But what they don't understand is from the view up here, you're looking at that guy being like, holy shit, dude, I got to pay that guy a lot of money because he can actually touch these dudes and make them great. What's that worth?
Right. So yeah, he will take your job, but you're going to be moving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's small thinking to think that. So that's my take on how to wrangle someone in who's maybe a little bit too into themselves, you know? And obviously too, that comes from your attitude, right? Like your attitude should be, I got a long way to go, bro. I'm just learning. I'm here every day doing the best, just like you. Like there's lots of people better than me because there are lots of people. There are lots of entrepreneurs better than you and better than me, period. Lots of them. We got a long way to go. So to think we know everything and to think we're the best at everything is pretty ridiculous thought. You know, like mastering one little skill set, like, oh, I'm the best at this. Bro, what are you talking about? That's one thing. Like you need to be able to teach someone that. You need to be able to replicate that. You need to be able to scale that. And then we can talk about like real career opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Teaching people shit is hard, bro. That's why it humbles people.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. I mean, even just teaching them on the bike,
Yeah.
like it's easy because like I know how to ride a bike, no
Yeah.
problem. I've been riding for fucking years. I got all the tips and tricks, but like I'm trying to convince this to somebody who had no idea. It's like it's a very, very tough thing to do. Man.
I have a saying around here and that I've used for fucking decades, and it's this: unless you can teach it, you don't know it. Unless you can teach it, you don't know it. If you can't go up in front of the group, in front of the whole company and teach what it is that you do, you don't even know it. You don't know it. It's invalid. It doesn't matter. It's pointless. So unless you can go up and teach it at that level, word for word, diagram for diagram, with authority, with confidence, you got a long way to go.
And people understand it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Huge deal, man.
That's real.
People think that just executing in their job means that they're going to have this totally rewarding career. No, that's what you're paid for now. What are you doing past that? Right? And they have a misunderstanding of how much depth of knowledge they actually have to really be great at something. And really that comes down to being able to teach it. So if you want to know if you're good enough at what you do, can you teach it? Can you teach it in front of 200 people? Can you teach it in front of 1,000 people? And they're going to say, damn, that was eye-opening. I learned a new thing. Because if you can't, you're not good enough yet.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You want some extra sauce?
Yeah, we can do one more.
You like sauce, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I don't like salt and pepper, though. I like to boil my chicken.
Right. Just straight
Yeah.
chicken. I love it. Guys, Andy, a little extra sauce here. Hey, Andy, love the show. My question is quick and simple. If you were 21 again and you had all the knowledge you have now, what would be the first 5 things you would do?
The first 5 things?
First 5 things you're doing. You got all the knowledge you know, spring chicken at 21. What we doing?
I'm doing exactly what I do now. I'm just going to do the quickest things possible to get there. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to take what I know and I'm going to make as much money with it as I can and build my shit. I'm going to build the exact same thing, but I know all the stuff that wasted my time. Bro, here's the deal. If I had to start over again and do what I do, I could do this in 3 years. Period.
Get this, like,
Fuck yeah. Guaranteed.
no doubt.
Yeah, because I know all the people and I know all the shit and I know how it works. It's phone calls. That's all it is. Hey, I want to do this. Can you help me? Cool. This is how we'll do it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, This is, dude, it's weird too because so many people want to skip that part. They want to skip that hard part. They want to skip the part where you got to grind it out. And what they can't understand because they don't have the perspective of being down the road further is that hard time that you're trying to avoid, that you back at 21 when you don't know shit, that hard time where you're struggling and you don't know what the fuck is going on, that is where you learn 98% of the stuff that's going to make you successful long term. Okay. So all of the difficult things that you go through, those produce the most skills. When times are easy and things are going well, you're not really learning that much. You're just executing on the things that you have learned. So just like we talked about earlier, where wins and losses are necessary and just part of it, the grind part where you don't know shit and have to figure it out is part of it. And if you go around that part or you try to skip that part or you buy one of these courses online and you become a millionaire in 2 weeks, you're going to not be a millionaire in 2 more weeks because you don't have any of the skills to grow it and maintain it. Okay? So the grind and the part where you don't know anything is super valuable. I wouldn't want to go back to 21 years old knowing what I know now. I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to go through the process just like I had, because now I'm sure of those things. They weren't just like downloaded into my brain. I know them because I've touched the stove so many times and got burnt.
You had to go through it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, dude, look, man, you're 21. Figure out what the fuck you want to do. Start doing it. Don't quit. Learn every lesson you can when you mess up, and you're going to get where you want to go. It might take 5 years. It might take 10 years. It might take 20 years. It might take 30 years. It depends on how big your goal is, right? My goal is to be an iconic American brand that is like in the conversation with the Nikes and these other big, huge brands that everybody recognizes, that helps the most people that have of any company that's ever existed. That's what I want to do. And that's a lifetime project. That's not a 5-year plan, right? So how big is your plan? You know, you got to stick to it.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because, you know, talk about how necessary that grind phase is. Have you also gotten to the point where you realize, man, like those grind times, those were also the best times?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had the most, like as hard as they fucking were. When you look back, that's what you like. I mean, where do you find the happiness when you look back on that trail?
Well, you know, back then when you don't know what you're doing, the expectation of winning is not as solid. So like back then when you don't know as much and you do win, it's super exciting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's fun.
Shit, this worked.
Yeah, it's more fun. But as you get down the path, like we talked about earlier, things get boring, they get monotonous, and you expect the result because you've gotten that result over and over again. And if you don't get the result that you expect, you just take inventory and you make some adjustments and you go at it again. But yeah, dude, I would say those difficult times were definitely some of the most fun times. For sure. All the times are fun. It was fun in the beginning. It was fun in the middle. It's fun now. And, 10 years from now, I'm going to be having fun doing that too. It's all fun. It's just fun for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do appreciate, I think people should learn to appreciate those meager, hard years more than what they do. Everybody's in a race to get out of that time, which is fine. That's okay. You're supposed to. But I think a lot of people are in such a race to get out of that phase that they fail to appreciate how much fun they're actually having doing it. So yeah, dude, I mean, it's always been fun. It's just different kinds of fun. Like back in the day, we didn't have any money. We had limited options on the fun.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, guys, Andy, that was 4.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's have a great week. Let's go kick some ass. We'll see you tomorrow for CTI. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.